Good morning. First of all, I would like to say welcome to teaching all of you, and thank you very, very much for coming. And I'm very happy to have this good opportunity to talk how to practice meditation based on preliminaries. And I also would like to share with you my practice, experience, my understanding about the teachings of Buddha. So this is a very good opportunity to share all of these things with you. That's why I'm very, very happy. And also thank you for coming. And today, in this retreat, we will talk about preliminaries. This is my sort of goal and how to help other people. So actually, when we talk about the preliminaries, there are two different preliminaries. We called outer preliminaries, and there is inner preliminaries. So the first outer preliminary is for beginners, and it helps people to prepare to meditate with your body, speech, and mind. For example, these outer preliminaries, correcting your motivation, correcting your postures, all of like that. And also, there is another outer preliminary very important to practice. We call it four thoughts that change the mind. And these four thoughts are practice the pressures of human life, impermanence life, cause and karma, benefits of the liberation, and suffering, the defects of samsara. So these are, we call it, outer preliminaries, and anybody can practice, not necessarily sort of, become a Buddhist, this anybody can practice and helps. So that's why we call this outer preliminaries. So the purpose of practice outer preliminary, for example, these four thoughts that change your mind, is to sort of turn your mind from ordinary concern towards thinking about liberation. And it gives you the motivation, great motivation to practice. That's why, very important. So these outer preliminaries are for anyone who wants to meditate, Think about precious human life. Think about impermanence lives. It's not necessarily become a Buddhist. I think this is very important, and I'm not going to teach you today the outer preliminaries because last year, it's not last year, but last time when we talk about the mind training, the Lobjong teaching, I taught this for the outer preliminaries in kind of detail. So if you want to learn it and how to practice, it's in our website. and you can watch and you can practice. So before you start practice the inner preliminary, you have to first understand the outer preliminaries, and it's actually in our curriculum. It's a request that you practice like at least 40 hours. One of the outer preliminary, the four thoughts, like meditate on precious human life 40 hours, permanence of life 40 hours. That at least, so you can do that, and I'm not going to teach you today outer preliminaries. Today, the teach and what we're learning, well, the second types of the preliminary, which is inner preliminaries, right? So, these inner preliminaries only Buddhist people who practice. Only Buddhist. Well, there are many ways you can practice inner preliminaries, but I can say, do you remember, I've always, the masters say that in Buddhism we have three, the science and religion, and so this inner preliminary is actually part of the religion. So there are lots of visualizations, and recite prayers and all of like that. So that's only for Buddhists. And if you are not ready to practice this, that's fine. You just today here learning how to practice and what do you think about these teachings. And you don't have to take refuge vows right away and to practice the inner preliminaries. But it's good you come here because you can learn it. This is kind of, it's the first, when you become a Buddhist, you have to practice the inner preliminaries. So, according to Buddhism, there are three things very important. I'm sure you know this, but I just remind you that whenever you practice, how you start, right? How you start your meditation, how you sort of maintain the practice meditation, and then how you finish. So these are very important. First of all, I would say that we all have the nature, the seed of the Buddha, the Buddha nature, we all have. And that this seed of become a sort of enlightened being, so that's what we have, right? It's that's why, but this nature Buddha is, we have, but obscured, and as a result, we all sort of wander in this world, and people sort of lots of problem, unhappiness, suffering, right? So therefore, we need to compassion for all living beings, because we have this Buddha nature, but we just don't understand. So we are in this world in suffering and unhappiness. So that's why we need compassion for living beings, one reason. And the second reason, because we are equally sort of do not want suffering, do not want any kind of unhappiness. So this is how we start our meditation, which is practiced with pure motivation, right? Because if you have good intention, and when you practice, you start with this kind of motivation, then your path and your goal will be successful. That's why have to correct your motivation. It's very important. Second is also very important when you practice, because have your mind, you need sort of your mind calm and free from thoughts, conceptualization, which means to practice without sort of distraction and practice without losing object and focus. For example, if you let come lots of thoughts, then they destroy your main sort of inner peace, then you will lose your main practice. So whatever you do, you should try to practice with concentrated mind and peace mind, and with sort of mindfulness. That's how you remain, and focus how you practice, the secondly. And then finally, the third is when you have done anything that is good or virtue. This is how you finish, virtue. The virtues here in Buddhism, virtue means anything that you do is helpful, That's what we call virtue. So must be, you should dedicate for the sake of all living beings. So this is how you finish your meditation. So these three things you should keep in your mind and remember when you meditate. Doesn't matter short, long meditation, You have to have these three, okay? If you have no, how you start, the second, and then if you don't have this, and then your meditation is not perfect. And, so always very important, okay? I always teach and talk these three important things. It doesn't mean you don't understand, but that's a kind of rule, when teachers teach, no matter you are beginner or advanced student or high student, no matter, teachers always taught these three things because very important. And now the inner preliminaries, I'm going to teach you how to practice. I want you to know that what is the preliminary? What does preliminary means? It means in order to practice, you must have to practice this first. That's why we call it preliminaries, because when you become a Buddhist, then you start practice refuge and bodhicitta, all this. So that's why it's called preliminary. But maybe you remember the Patrul which said that, and Word of My Perfect Teacher tells us that the preliminary is the foundation of all Vajrayana practice, and therefore even more important than the so-called main practice. So, of course, first preliminary is taking refuge, which is the foundation of all Buddhist paths. Because the refuge, right, that difference between Buddhist and non-Buddhist, because of you take refuge vow. And then second preliminary, bodhicitta, arose in bodhicitta. As you know, bodhicitta is the root of the Mahayana path. And then third preliminary then is meditating on Vajrasattva, so that you can cleanse and purify your negative emotions, karmas. If you have done a lot of negative actions in your life, then Vajrasattva will assist you in your and purify your negative actions. And then fourth preliminary is to offering the mandala in order to accumulate goodness and wisdom, right? That's fourth. And then finally, last preliminary is Guru Yoga. Because the only way to achieve liberation is to realize the nature of mind. And such realization can only be accomplished by mind itself through practice, Guru Yoga. There are outer Guru Yoga practice, inner Guru Yoga practice, secret Guru Yoga practice, but today we'll talk about the outer the Guru Yoga practice. So the Vajrasattva, mandala, offering, and Guru Yoga are the Vajrayana practice and methods. And practice the refuge, the taking refuge and bodhicitta are usually categorized as Shavaka and Bodhisattvas practice, right? You know all of that. But the five preliminary, each, practice is equally important because the preliminary brings together the essence of all practice, sort of contains everything that we as practitioners need to work with and all that is necessary on the spiritual path. That's in general, and also, in each preliminary practice steps, their visualizations, recitations, and what do we have? Content, right? Content that you complete. In addition, the last preliminary includes prostrations, if you also can, So each preliminary has a little bit different, right? Different visualizations, different recitations, prayers, So I will teach you all of that. And all of the five preliminaries have the same amount of content, which is 100,000 times. So this is sort of just brief, introduction of inner preliminary practices. It's very important to practice these inner preliminaries because you cannot go to the next practice, next level without practice preliminaries, according to my lineage. This is how my lineage, my teachers, and how my root teachers taught me and how I actually, practiced. And that's why I think this is very beneficial kind of rules, These kind of rules, not that I have made, but, they go back in sort of history and lots of the people practiced this way, and those people become very good sort of practitioner. So that's why I hope you will practice, and actually you have to practice because I worked kind of very hard and in order to teach you this preliminary because first of all I received this transmission, oral instruction from who, the great teacher, Dzogchen master, the holders of this lineage, the preliminary. I received very sort of good instructions from him. And the second, I practiced on this preliminary. This is my fourth practice preliminary, and I'm almost done. So because of my meditation, it's one reason is I want practice, but second reason, in order to teach you on this preliminary, I need a little bit experience. So that's why I, meditate on this, and 500,000, not only count, but visualizations and everything. I'm almost done. So I have some good experience and some good realizations. And especially we actually been, 3 different preliminaries we so far the student practiced, but I think this is the best, because my teacher told us that he practiced 10 times preliminary, and each preliminary are different. He tried, but he told us that he recognized his nature mind. He recognized the reality through practice this preliminary. That's why he told us, if you really want to teach your student and you want to practice, you should practice this preliminary. That's why he gave us the instructions and transmission, everything. So that's the first reason I want you to practice. And then second reason is, then I checked this preliminary, but there is no English. And I asked Corlin, and he translated this preliminary into English very beautifully. So I want to say thank you, Corlin. And very nice. And so that's the second reason. So, so 3 reasons, right? You have to practice this. First reason, I received the instruction. I tried to, I went to a different monastery and see this teacher, great teacher, and for instructions for this preliminary. And then myself, I have to, actually I'm done 3 times preliminaries, but I have to practice this because I want to teach. And in order to teach, I have to experience. Otherwise, I can't teach something I never done, So that's second. And third reason, now you are ready to practice. You can, use, and you can read in English. And there are some nice images. Thank you, Kate. She made these pictures and with the text. So it's very nice, very beautiful. What do you call it? Everything is ready, So you are fortunate that you have this opportunity to practice preliminary. So, very important. So today, also I want to first, that there are some people who are going to take refuge vows. So listen very carefully. When you take refuge vows, I'm not going to teach you anything, just give you the vows. So now you have to understand from Buddhist point of view, the reason for taking refuge vow and the Buddha is very important, okay? You take refuge in the Buddha because it is only the Buddha that has capacity and taught how to achieve enlightenment, how to achieve liberation. Only Buddha. And taking refuge means rely on the 3 jewels to inspire and guide you towards a beneficial direction in your lives. That's why another reason. And to take refuge is to recognize the three jewels of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha as your sort of unchanging, I could say, protectors, unchanging protectors for get enlightenment or liberation. And also taking refuge is the first step in Buddhism, and it is sort of support for all the vows, okay? This is because if we, for example, if you have taken all the vows, like, bodhicitta vows, patimokkha vows, and lay practitioner vows, and monks vows, etc., and have not yet taken the refuge vow, then all these vows don't mean anything, nothing. Actually, you can't take the vows without taking refuge vows. So it is because the person is not Buddhist yet. So that's why the refuge vow is the foundation, okay, all of the other vows, And so therefore, taking vow is very important if someone who wants to become a Buddhist. It's commitment, Dr. Rinpoche says that without refuge, the vow, without refuge, there is no vows. Without vows, there is no discipline. And without discipline, we cannot accomplish any of the teaching on the path. So we need, in order to practice, we need discipline, So in order to get liberation without three jewels, which is the taking the vow, right? Three jewels, it's impossible, according to Buddhism. And that's very beautiful. Why someone? Why it's important to take refuge vow? And now how? How does one take refuge? In general, one take refuge in the Buddha as the teacher, right? And Dharma as the path, your path. And then, of course, the Sangha as the companions along the way. And we also have, when you take the vow, refuge vow, three different motivations, right, for taking refuge. And this is related to three different kinds of beings, These are the beings of lesser capacity, middle capacity, and greatest capacity. For example, beings with a great capacity have the motivation to attain enlightenment or Buddhahood, not just for themselves, but for the welfare of all beings. So that's the great motivation. So when you take refuge vow, you have to correct and make sure that you have that kind of motivation, okay? That's just to let you know, someone who are going to take the vow today. And now we will start talking about how to practice the first preliminary, which is the refuge. It is just I mentioned, it is the different, those who are inside the teachings of Buddha and those who are outside the Buddha's teaching, because it is refuge that makes the difference between Buddhist and non-Buddhist, right? So just the taking refuge opens the door, kind of, to all the teachings and all practice. And also, it is the confidence, it is the belief, the faith that opens the door, taking the vow, taking refuge. What is the foundation of taking refuge vow? It is faith, right? It is belief. You understand? before you take the vow, it is very important to understand the fundamental, the teachings of Buddha. It is very important to investigate his teachings and Buddha. So now you are taking the vow. That means because you believe and you understand and you think, oh, this is very beneficial. So that's why faith is the foundation of taking refuge vow. And kind of door, right? Opens door, your mind, open your mind. I am ready to become a Buddhist and practice these preliminaries. So, and this, so that is the, think about your faith, belief, right? So the faith is the base of your meditation, actually, right? Meditation. When we talk about faith, faith is not something outside, okay? Believe something outside, but not, it's not, but it's inside. It's kind of, inspires you to know that liberation is possible if I practice this and that. Because my faith, my capacity, my Buddha nature, So faith directly kind of you to take the path, sort of, and faith, courage give you sort of energy, to continue. So it's very important, I think. Remember, Sambhava says that the faith of sort of total trust allows the blessings to enter into your mind. When the mind is free from sort of doubt, then whatever you wish can be achieved. The first of all, very important to have sort of investigate and doubt. I'm not so sure. Wow. Because then you are really sort of excited to investigate and receive the teachings because of your doubt, That's why you develop sort of, your inner faith. Once you have inner faith, that allows the blessings come to your mind. For example, during my time in Tibet, I really know that many practitioners, how hard they practice, I was, always inspired. Always in Tibet, the practitioner who are doing a 3-year sort of silent retreat. All these meditators are inspired by their own great sort of faith and courage. Nobody had required them to do what they're doing, They just really, this is the most important in my life. So they are just, that's why they can practice sort of very hardly, very hard and very diligently, So because of the faith, because of the capacity, So anyway, now when you practice the refuge, first you visualize the refuge tree, right? And imagine that the place you are sitting is a perfect environment, beautiful and pleasant. Well, the first thing I will let you know that today we're going to practice, and I will teach the 5 preliminaries, everything. So maybe you feel, oh, this is too much. you maybe think, oh, lots of different visualizations and recitations, all of that. Oh, it's impossible. It's too difficult. Maybe because of I'm going to teach you all of this 5 preliminaries. It's one day, so maybe that's where you kind of you will this is too much. But it's totally different when you practice. One by one, it's easy. It's very easy, and you will like. So do not lose your confidence when I teach all of you these things today, because it's very important, I think. So the first visualization when we practice the refuge, you sit in a beautiful place, very nice everything, and perfect sort of environment. In front of you grow a wish-fulfilling tree with 5 branches. A tree has 5 branches. On each of the 5 branches, there are many beings, But if this is too difficult, because 5 branches, and then we have to, each branch has different visualizations. If you think this is too difficult, then you can simply focus on Shakyamuni Buddha sitting in front of you, okay? Or Padmasambhava, or your teacher, whatever, who's the enlightened beings inspires you the most. You visualize that being in front of you. That's easy, right? That's easy. That's the easiest visualization, okay? And Buddha Shakyamuni is simple monk, golden colored, and he wears 3 different robes and sit in a like Vajra posture. He represents all of the Buddhas and Dharmas and Sanghas, and sort of imagine him sitting in front of you and kind of facing you, okay? So this is not difficult, is it? It's not difficult. If you can't visualize this, then no way to get enlightenment. It's not difficult. All right. Well, and then maybe if you want more sort of complicated visualizations, then should looks like this. You just visualize this tree has 5 branches. On the central branch is a lotus, beautiful lotus, and sitting on top of that is sitting Padmasambhava, okay, the second Buddha. And above Padmasambhava, above his head, visualize the entire lineage of teachers, okay, especially this preliminary, the teachers of this lineage. That's the central branch. And then the front of the branch is again Buddha Shakyamuni. This is the bigger one, right? Buddha Shakyamuni, and surrounded by all the Buddhas, past Buddha, present Buddha, future Buddha, whatever. And on the right branch, visualize the Mahayana Sanghas of the bodhisattvas, Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, all of that. Right branch. And then the left branch sitting on then Hinayana Sanghas, Sharvaka, Parthika Buddha, all this Shariputta, Bongarputta, all of that on the left branch. and then on the branch behind the tree, the branch, visualize all of the Buddha's bodhisattvas teaching in forms of the the Buddhist text, Buddhist teachings, books, everything there. That's what we call it Dharma, right? Buddha Dharma. So Dharma, you visualize that behind all forms of text. And so if you can visualize all these branches, it's very good. It's very good. And if you do not know all of their names and colors and how they are sitting, that's don't worry. Just visualize that they are there. And the second one, you start to visualize your surroundings. You are here, right, in front of the tree. You visualize, you are there, and then you visualize like your father, your mother, your family, your relatives, your enemies, your friends, and all living beings, include yourself in front of the tree. Everybody, all living beings there. And visualize all these beings, living beings, taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, And also you are visualizing that all of these living beings are receiving refuge and practicing together, together. That's the second visualization. Got it? And then third, there are only 3 different visualizations. Third, at the end of the practice, at the end of the session, you should visualize the refuge tree, and slowly that many rays of light come from these deities, on the refuge tree. You visualize Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, right? Actually, that's all. You visualize on this tree. What do you visualize? Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So all these many different rays of light from the deities, and this lights then dissolve into you, and all these living beings surrounded you and receive their blessings from the deities, Visualize all of refuge deities and beings, and then dissolve into, each other, and then at the end, let your mind rest in its nature. And clear your thoughts at this point. Recognize the true nature, the nature of your mind, and then dedicate the merit. So it's really easy to rest your mind at the end, because you visualize all this, Buddhas, Dharmas, Sanghas, all right. So now at the end, you have to just relax, and try to find the nature. Understand? Any questions?
In the image, there's and stuff in the front. Is that, you didn't mention that?
Oh.
Is that part of the branch with the Buddhas, or is that something different?
That's Buddha, yes, part of Buddha, part of Sangha. So in this preliminary, it doesn't say about the Dharma protectors, right? So usually when you visualize the refuge tree, then there is Dharma protectors, but that's not necessary. All of that, when you visualize Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, that's just good, just enough. No problem. Concert, Guru Rinpoche, with concert, you want to visualize with concert, that's fine. Just you want to single, that's fine. But Guru Rinpoche is very important to visualize the central image.
I have a question about all the visualizations. Do you start those into all those visualizations at the beginning of your mantras that you are saying for the refuge? And continually hold those, try and hold those in your mind, but how do you do that when you're saying the mantra? Do you do it at the end?
No, usually this is in general, not specific when you meditate on refuge. But when you meditate, usually just calm, right, to relax your mind. And once you're really sort of relaxed and calm, then you start. There is no kind of rules that you have to first this, second this, no. So you can do visualization, recitation, everything, counting everything at the same time. If you can, you do. I do that. If you can't, then first you do visualize the refuge tree. Once you've done that, then you say the prayers, and sometimes do together, sometimes separately. So it's how it works your mind. You have to listen your heart, your mind, most, if you're a beginner, it's difficult to do this kind of simultaneously, So you can alternately, practice. Say prayers, actually good. The first maybe say prayers, because the prayers may be very new, and then you have to little bit understand the meaning of prayers, and then say some prayers, and then maybe stop and start the visualizations, and then maybe do together. There's no rule. Okay? And now we're going to practice, we have 4 sessions today, and each section we practice, like when we talk about refuge, we are going to practice refuge. Bodhicitta, practice bodhicitta like that. So here, of course, if you're not Buddhist, then you don't need to practice on the refuge. So I give you sort of different instructions for your practice, okay? Which is, I call recognize your mind and let it go. Recognize your mind and let go. And it's also the combination with your breath. This is I'm talking, if you are not Buddhist, I think most of I know you are Buddhist, but if you are not Buddhist here today, then while we are practice refuge, you should practice on this. Recognize mind and let go with your breath. So when you breathe in very softly and sort of recognize your mind, and then pause for a little bit, for a second, rest in its nature without thinking, and then breathe out gently and let go everything. And then just to relax, and just to relax there and very naturally. And then go back to the breath again, recognize the mind, letting go again, and sort of continue meditate on that, okay? So just let your thoughts come and go. Let your mind rest in a more quiet and more peaceful state. After Rinpoche say this is very important. The way of thoughts occur, is the same as before, okay, because we are ordinary people. But the way they are freed is the most special key point, You understand what this means? This means when you try to meditate, not only meditate your daily life. Of course, we have both positive and negative thoughts all the time, right? That's not the problem. Do you understand what is the problem? What is the problem? We grasp, right? We never let our mind free. So, for example, the Dzogchen practitioners, of course, they have both positive and negative thoughts. But the difference between the Dzogchen practitioner and lay people like us, ordinary people, when we have thoughts and we follow thoughts and grasping and attach to many things, Dzogchen practitioners, when they arise thoughts, they free it, immediately liberated their thoughts. Then there is no time, no opportunity to have sort of this anger, attachment, because immediately sort of they can free it, their thoughts. That's what I'm trying to practice. You should do that when you get angry. Get angry, of course. Get angry. Anger is very important. Anger is very important. Very, very important. No anger, how you practice. Anger is teacher. But you have to recognize immediately. That's why very important. When you get angry or you something happened and makes you unhappy. It's very, very nice if you can. The anger and this are actually very strong sort of emotion, afflictions. Maybe that time is difficult, but maybe you should try you should start the small thoughts that arise in your mind, let go and immediately look at its essence, its nature. It's very, very impressive. I don't know how to say. It's very, as soon as you do this, your thoughts are no longer there. That's what we call liberation, Buddha nature, nirvana. And then we are not sort of used, right? Not accustomed. And then immediately thoughts arise again, right? And then we follow that. Then we are in samsara. And then we have lots of unhappiness, right? But Dzogchen practitioners, they do that many times, and then they stay that nature state longer and longer and longer and longer. And then at the end, there's no thoughts. That's how we learn it, how we practice. That's say that Samantabhadra say that it's very important to recognize the nature of your thoughts. He said that the thoughts arise all the time. It's very important. No thoughts, no dharmakaya. No thoughts, no nature mind. So my root teacher said that, for example, one day you have 100 different thoughts and you try to recognize the essence of your thoughts, then you see 100 times Dharmakaya, 100 times Samantabhadra, 100 times you see your nature, right? So, never think that the thoughts are negative. Thoughts are very helpful in order to practice. So that's why I give you this very important quote. Remember this all the time. The way of thoughts occur is the same as before, right? When we meditate, and then thoughts arise again, exactly same as before. We're ordinary people, right? But the way they are freed is the most special key point. From Pater Rinpoche, thank you, Pater Rinpoche, give us this very meaningful teaching through his experience. It's very helpful. I do that, try to all the time. Lots of thoughts come, try to let them free. And it's as soon as you let them free, no longer your thoughts there. There's nothing there, then there's a chance to recognize Dharmakaya, chance to recognize the true inner Guru Yoga, inner Buddha. Never think that Buddhas are outside. Buddha's always in you. You are the Buddha. If you don't recognize, you're a very ordinary person, has lots of thoughts and negative emotions. If you recognize this, you are the Buddha. That's why we have a capacity to, and that's why we have chance to get the enlightenment, the liberation. So that's why I think this, in you think about this kind of things, then everything, all this inner preliminary, outer preliminary makes sense. Okay, now you have this precious human life because of you are the Buddha. So it's totally up to you. You waste your time, you waste your precious human life, or you want do something meaningful using this opportunity, So, more you meditate on this, more you understand how you are fortunate and how important this precious human birth, precious human life. That is the essence of your practice. The point of your meditation is you have to understand how you are fortunate. So that's why I don't want waste my time, my life. Do something good for myself, for others. So that's why, so if you're not Buddhist, you should practice that. Recognize the mind and let go with the combination, with the breath. When you breathe out, when you breathe in, pause between breathe in and out, and try to, the nature, and stay and practice on that as much as you can. And then if you're Buddhist, we're going to say this prayer 3 times and then sit for a while and meditate. Try to visualize what I told you, okay? But before we practice, I give you the written transformation of this preliminary, okay? I want more teach this preliminary, and I want to practice whole my life, this preliminary. So I think you should too, Why not? Definitely, if you practice this, It says, free you from outer and inner obstacles. Not just, when you practice, okay, I want to finish this 500,000, count. Not that. If you really practice with your faith, devotion, then inner obstacles, outer obstacles take away. It's very beautiful. Namo tisam jardan jati thamji ji chisun chinsi nipi danya war tanji chabji tenchin lama ji membre chisu de chengo Traktung Dudjom Dorje. He is the treasure revealer. Now, where is the last page? Do I have here? Oh, there. It says, this treasure was revealed by Herka Dudjom Dorje, who kept the seal of security for 18 human years. He found this. He wrote this preliminary, and then he kept secret, right? That because he thought it's not right time to give people. And then later, after 18 years, and then he gave these instructions in this book, this text. Beautiful. Dudjom Langba, yep. No. The first. That's the second, right? Okay. How much do we have time? 7:30. Oh, we don't have lots of time. So, do you want to practice or do you want to take a break?
Short break.
Huh? Short break? Yeah, sure. This is actually talk very long, almost 2 hours. Take break and then come back and we'll start the next.
How long is break? 10 minutes?
I think 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you want. Just, free yourself.